Good evening. First, I just want to say again, thank you to Michaela for all of her work in this class. This is my first back to college class and my first ever online course. I definitely learned a lot about myself through this process. When I was in college 25 years ago in person, I don't know that I realized how much the teachers sort of handheld and spoon feed you the instructions and the information, and I think I took that for granted. So it was a big adjustment for me doing it all online. I did, like I said, learn a lot about myself. I learned a lot about how to take online classes through this course. Michaela was wonderful through it. Nothing negative to say about her through that. I think she did a great job, but it definitely was a little overwhelming in the very beginning, trying to figure out everything you're supposed to do when you're on your own. I really enjoy the TED Talks. It was probably one of my favorite parts of the course. I enjoyed not only watching the TED Talks, but I really enjoyed watching all of your videos. I know we only had a comment on 3, but I really enjoyed watching all of your perspectives. I agreed with most of them, and I really liked the ones that I didn't agree with. I really enjoyed getting other people's point of views. I think that, again, one of the disadvantages of having an online course is you don't get that interaction, and you don't get to get other people's point of views on certain topics. So it was kind of fun to have that again. So I really appreciated all of your guys' feedback. I really appreciated everybody's comments on my videos. By the end of it, I had no problem being a little bit more disagreeing on my videos, and everyone was very kind and gave me good comments, so I appreciate that. The writing is still so hard for me. Again, big thank you to Michaela for being so patient. The hardest thing for me is starting, right? It's very time consuming. APA format is still not a natural thing for me. I have to look up every single citing rule and formatting rule, and I feel like I'm second guessing every little tiny piece of it. But again, very grateful for her patience through the whole process and her feedback through it. And hearing some of you say that you were struggling, and her example halfway through did make me feel a little bit better. Misery enjoys company, that other people were struggling with it a little bit as well. I didn't know, and probably because I didn't read it, that there is a help desk that I could have submitted it to through George Fox, where I could have gotten someone else's perspective before I turned in the papers. I feel like that would have given me a lot more confidence before I submitted these papers. I wish I would have known that going into it. I wish that was emphasized, as you know, a lot of us, this is our first time writing in 25, 30 plus years. So turning it into a teacher seemed very overwhelming to me, but turning it into a help desk where they could give me feedback first, so I wasn't so drowning. I mean, my first critiques were like, oh my gosh. I mean, I was dumb mistakes. I would have appreciated getting some of those things worked out before I turned in that first paper. So that's my only feedback, is just emphasizing that there is that help desk to turn your paper in before you submit it for a final grade. I like the chance to do the revisions and getting more critiques. I think I already said this, but want to emphasize, I really liked getting your sample papers. Again, a lot of that information was in the text, but seeing something visually is super helpful for me when a lot of this is not visual. So seeing that in the very beginning of the class as opposed to halfway would have made a big difference for me. But very grateful for you, Michaela, and very grateful for all of you classmates and your videos and your feedbacks and getting your perspectives on the TED Talks. So hopefully I see a lot of you and adults writing too.